Okay, and we're back. Sorry, guys. I don't know what just happened. You guys hear me? Are we good? Yes, no, maybe so. Hey, guys. All right, sorry about that. Technology sucks sometimes, okay? Hey, everyone. Okay. All right, guys. So I am super excited about today's interview. I know for sure, it's going to be one of my faves. Can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? Y'all can? Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. So, again, I'm super excited. What? So, is it going in and out? Can you guys hear me? Okay. I see people saying that my voice is going in and out. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So, like I was saying for the third time, I'm super excited about today's interviewee. Look, I'm going to let her tell her own story, but I've been doing so much research and I'm just super excited about who she is and what she's done and how she's really shifting the game for women in sports. Her name is Anastasia Pagonis. I want to make sure I said it right because the other interview I did, I said her last name incorrectly. But Anastasia, she is a Paralympic phenomenon. She's a swimmer. She's won gold at Tokyo. And today we're going to be interviewing her, and I'm about to bring her on right now. Oh, hold on. Anastasia Pagonis. Sometimes it just doesn't give what it's supposed to give when I'm trying to say names. So, let me see if I can. Oh, here she goes.
Sorry.
No
Hello.
worries. Hey, how are you?
Hi. Sorry, my mom was trying to help me get on here and everything. Hi.
Hi, no worries. Okay, so please say. I want to make sure I said your name correctly.
It's
Anastasia Pagonias.
Pagonis. So close.
Pagonis. Oh man, see, look. So I'm from Texas, so sometimes my accent doesn't give what it's supposed to give. So
That's all that
yeah.
matters, right?
Yes. Well, first of all, I have to say you are gorgeous. So let's
Thank
get that
you.
out the way. um, but I'm super excited to interview you. Like when I was reading your story, I was like, I have to have her on my show because you're a
You
phenomenon, right? You're
so much.
doing, yeah, you're doing things in the sports world that some people think are impossible. So the fact that you're breaking these barriers, and I'm just excited to dive into your story.
Thank
So
you so much. I think if anyone's breaking down barriers, it's you. Like
thank you.
me and my mom were literally fangirling over you. So
Aw. Thank you. Look. I'm trying out here. I'm doing what I can.
you're doing
Um,
you're doing so much for other people, which is like very selfless of you because you're doing it for yourself, but it's just impacting everyone. So it's really amazing.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. So let's dive into it. So I really want to know kind of like early beginnings. So how did you get into swimming and kind of how have those experiences while swimming kind of shaped who you are as a person today?
Yeah. So I got into swimming. I played soccer when I was younger, which, as you can imagine, wasn't going well for me because I was getting kicked in the face with the ball.
Yeah.
So my doctor recommended that I try a less contact sport, quote, less contact, even though it ended up being super contact.
Right.
Um, and I fell in love with it right when I got in the pool. It was like a place where I felt free. And at that
Mm,
point, I was able to see better than I can see now.
wow.
Um, so I didn't need tappers or anything, and I was kind of just free in the water, and it was something that was so special to me. And then
Mm,
I went through my big vision drop when I was 14, and I went through a long depression, and I wasn't swimming, and I was kind of, through the grieving process.
mhm.
I decided that swimming was something that made me so happy, and like, why should I stop swimming because something was taken away from me? And that thing being taken away from me ended up opening so many more doors for me, which is amazing.
Wow.
And that's when my real swimming career started. And it was brutal. Lots of cuts, bumps, bruises, broken bones and concussions, and a whole
Wow.
journey ahead of me that I had that I did not expect. But here we
Right. Wow. So That's super interesting. So you weren't legally, so you weren't born like with vision issues. It kind of progressed as you got older.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know what I was born with because it was my
Uh,
normal, if that makes sense.
yes.
We don't know if I was born like visually impaired or not because it was always my normal.
Mm.
So I didn't know what to compare it to. I know that's kind of confusing to like explain,
No,
but yeah.
no, like we look, all of us are wanting to be educated on this
Yeah.
because this is
My,
this is very
my
unique.
mom, yeah, my mom thought I was just like a super clumsy child, and that's kind of how we got into being diagnosed and stuff because I was always walking
Mm.
into crashing into things, but it was actually vision loss and not being clumsy. Well, a little bit of both, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. No, that's okay. So with that being said, when you were starting to kind of like lose your vision, how were you able to really adapt? And how did that also kind of affect your, I guess, your mental health? Definitely going into like swimming and it being, different and new. How were you able to kind of balance like the changing of your vision, but also like your everyday life?
It was really hard for me. I went through a very dark time.
Mm.
Dark, but yeah, dark. No pun intended. And it was for about 8 months that I was in severe depression, like outpatient therapy, all this really hard stuff. My parents were forcing me to literally have one smoothie a day and go for a 5-minute walk. And to me at that time, it felt like it was the end of the world, even though now at it, I'm training like hours a day. And like that was something that was so small, but at the time was really overwhelming my world.
Mm.
I had to go through that grieving process, and I'm so thankful for the support from my friends and family because I think that's really why I'm still here today.
Yeah.
How did
Wow.
that get back into the pool? And we figured out a way that I was going to do it, and we did it. It was a hard process though, and it still is every day. I feel like I'm sure you agree with this, but like you battle problems and like difficulties every single day, even if you're at like the top level. You still have those.
Yes.
I'm sure you can like relate with that.
Definitely. Man, in many, many ways.
Yeah,
And I have to just applaud you because, wow, I can only imagine the resilience you have
thank you.
to go through all of those changes and be the amazing athlete that you currently are as well, but also still, be just a regular human as well and kind of adjusting to everyday things changing for you as well. So that is, I have to commend you on that. That is, your mental resilience is like impeccable. I have to say that. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
So thank you. And so, could you kind of describe like your training routine? Because I know with you being at the highest level, I know it's extremely intense.
Yeah,
And I think it's always good to kind of give people an insight of like what athletes actually go through
yeah.
versus like when you see them win, because nobody sees like what's
Right.
happening behind the scenes.
They
So
always
it's like, oh my gosh, you're this amazing athlete. It happened overnight. Like, no, I've been
know.
doing this for many
Yeah.
years. Yeah, so kind of give us an example like what a day looks like.
People always say that to me. They're like, "Oh, your name popped up out of nowhere. You just like came out of nowhere." And I was like, "Oh no, I did not. I was grinding for a long time."
They weren't in the gym shooting with you, so they don't
Yeah,
understand.
sure. And I think that's something that's so cool about like social media is like you can kind of people what it's like to be in your shoes and like show them that, which is really cool because they don't really get to experience that. So it's cool.
Yes.
Um, but right now I'm still in the process of like getting back from surgery. I had shoulder surgery in June, so I'm slowly
Uh,
coming from it.
okay.
But usually my training schedule will be around 9 practices a week. So I'll do doubles on certain Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be a double
Wow.
day, and then 2 times a week I will lift in the gym. So it's pretty
Wow.
practices around 2 hours, and it's a lot of yardage. Swimming can also get super boring, so it's really important to make sure that like you're having fun and making it an interesting place, even through that blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes. Yes. I can only imagine. And so with you having that many practices a week, how do you make time for like self-care and just taking care of like your mental health and also just being a regular person?
Yeah, I think it's so important to have you time. That's what makes, you know, you the good champion and the athlete that you are, is giving yourself that time.
Yeah.
And I love like fashion and makeup and beauty and all that stuff. So I think like me sitting down and doing my makeup to get ready to like film a video and stuff, that's a way of my therapy. It's a way of like calming myself and just focusing on like doing my makeup.
Yes.
I love baths. Baths are like, have a special place in my heart.
Everything, yes.
A nap. I don't know. I'm a big nap
Me
girl.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. I feel like all athletes are. Like, we have to. Like, our lives are too crazy to not nap at least like once a day.
At the minimum, right?
Yes, yes. Okay, no, I totally agree. And I think that's something, not to say that of course like male athletes don't go through their struggles, but I think like being a female athlete is very different, right? Because we have different battles and different obstacles outside of like, you know, what the guys go through.
Yeah.
So with that being said, because this is always such a big topic, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you feel like needs to change in women's sports?
I feel like there's so much that needs to be changed. You're breaking it down incredibly, which is amazing. And you've changed it so much. And there's so many amazing female athletes that have changed it so much, but there's still so much work that needs to be done. I feel like we don't get televised the same way that males do, which is heartbreaking and like so crazy and insane to me. And equal
Yes.
is a huge thing. Why should men get paid more than women? We're working just as hard, if not harder. And I
Yes.
think that's something that's so important, which you are fighting for. So
Yes. I look,
yes,
it's gonna take a village. Yeah.
yes,
And women like you who are breaking these barriers and doing incredible things. And I think when people start to really notice, like, first of all, how like our struggles are different once again, but the fact that we're also amazing and doing amazing things with all these different things kind of holding us down.
mm-hmm.
I feel like once people understand, like, okay, hey, if we just kind of give them a little bit more support, they can be even more amazing, right? Without
Yes,
all the struggles.
yes,
So I, yeah, so much I can say on this, but you know, I think people get tired of me talking about it, which is why I was like, let me actually start being the change I want to see, and start giving these phenomenal women like you a platform to kind of tell your story and get your voice heard, just to a different audience. But hopefully, my goal is to get people to kind of pick up your stories and it start spreading, and that's the goal for me. So I'm super excited.
yeah.
So.
I love that you're not just talking the talk, you're actually like walking the walk and making a change, because a lot of people talk about like, you know, equal rights and blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
blah, but they make that change like you are. And it's so important.
Yes. Yes. No, I completely agree. So how important is representation for athletes with disabilities in sports?
Being represented is so important, and especially as a Paralympic athlete, we do not get the representation that Olympic athletes get.
Yes.
And it's making, listen, there's huge changes that are happening, but not enough. And I think that there's so much more to come, and
Yes.
everyone wants to be represented in their own way, right?
Yes.
Like if there's a commercial going on and there's a disabled girl on that commercial, like I feel represented, and
Yes.
that makes me feel so special. So I think representation is something that is needed.
Yes, I agree. And I have started seeing way more representation, which I'm like, yes, keep going. I love it. Because we need that. And again, that's gonna be a part of the change.
Yes.
So I love that, and I can't wait to see how, you know, the years progress with that, because everybody needs a voice in whatever, you know, category that they're currently in. And again, you are a big like, you know, person who's starting that change. And you know, I just can't wait to see what happens with that. So
Thank
yes, keep it going.
you.
um so what is one of your most memorable moments in your career?
Oh, there's so many. I think that even those little bumps and bruises along the way are so memorable and special, but definitely standing on the podium, hearing the national anthem was probably the most special to me.
Wow. So, okay, let's go back to that moment. Like, what were you feeling? Because I know that has to be like, oh my God, like all the work paid off.
Yeah, it was, I was overwhelmed with emotion, as you can imagine. But like,
Yes.
I just remember being so happy. And unfortunately, it was during COVID, so my family wasn't there, which my mom was in the stands, but like the rest of my family wasn't. But I was just like kind of hoping that they were there, which would have made it so much more special. But it was so special being able to swim and win that gold medal, like for our country, and hearing the national anthem and everything. It was just so amazing, and all that blood, sweat, and tears and hard work really paid off.
Man, I can only imagine. So with that being said, because again, that's such a special moment, and that's like literally like the pinnacle of success. When you get to that point where you're standing on the podium, you're representing your country, and you won, and you get to bring that back. That is like the 1% of the 1% of the 1% get to experience that. So for all of the young athletes that are looking up to you because you are amazing, what advice would you give to them when it comes to like what does it take? Because we can always, again, we can look on TV and say, wow, that athlete's amazing. You know, I'm pretty sure they didn't have to go through too much because they've been winning since they were younger or whatever it may be, but not understanding the hours that you're in the gym, the hours that you're, you know, the sacrifice you have to make with friends and your social life. So what advice would you give them if they're wanting to get to the level that you've gotten to?
I think having dreams are so important. Dreams and goals. It sounds so cliche, but having those dreams and knowing them and thinking about it every single day. Like when I'm grinding in the pool, I'm thinking about like, hey, this is the difference between silver and gold, right? Like the push that I'm giving is that difference. And having those hopes and dreams and pushing and giving it your all every single day. But yeah, definitely having those goals would probably be the most important, because goals can become reality.
Exactly. And I heard you mention, you know, the fact that you weren't able to have your family when you were, you know, when you got the gold medal, and that was such a monumental moment in your life. How important is having like a support system?
It's so important. My family and my friends are definitely my main support system and got me through everything. I feel like I wouldn't have been here without them. So I'm really thankful for them, and they definitely are the people who pushed me through it.
Wow. I love that. So what's next for you? Kind of give us like a breakdown of like what you have coming up, what we can be looking out for. And again, I know your schedule has to be crazy right now, definitely around the Olympic time. So kind of tell us what you have coming up next.
I have a lot of events coming up, like just small World Series and national events that I have to be at, but definitely stay tuned for Paris. I can't believe the Paris Olympics are literally in like less than a year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, just stay tuned for my journey to the Paris Paralympics.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. I know you have to have a crazy schedule. Again, you are such an inspiration, and I'm definitely going to be looking out for you at Paris. So I will be like, hey, I interviewed her. So I can't wait to see you do your thing. And again, thank you, and keep being an inspiration. There's so many children looking up to you, and trust me, like you are an excellent role model for these young children. So keep being great.
Thank you so much, you too, and please keep changing the world of sports for women, because you're doing an amazing job. So we all really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. And have a good one.
You too. Bye.